And we do want to begin this morning with breaking news out of Eastland County. Crews there battling multiple wildfires.
Right, the Eastland Complex fire is burning through several counties between Abilene and DFW. Now, to give you a better idea of where it's burning, it's about 85 miles southwest of Fort Worth.
Yeah, Chris Ottegi is live in Eastland right now. And Chris, we know that those fires burned through the night. How are things looking right now this morning?
Mark, they are still burning. As you can see behind me, this was something, we don't know what kind of structure it was or what was there, but it is still flaming, and you can see that big tree, the flames there. I wouldn't be surprised if that tree comes down at some point. As you're driving through this area on these rural roads, you're seeing a lot of this. You're just seeing open flames, you're seeing the embers where it's passed through, and this has stretched miles and miles. The number we gave last night, around 15,000 acres burned at this point. This was a combination of fires. We have some video to show you from overnight to kind of give you an idea of the terrain out here. This was a combination of fires forming this complex, the Eastland Complex fires, 4 of them. However, there were other fires, up to 10, burning in this area yesterday because the conditions were just so ripe for grass fire. Now, the town of Ranger is nearby. A separate fire there, the one that was started by the barbecue pit that you mentioned, there were actually buildings in downtown that caught fire and were destroyed. We talked to the fire chief out there, and he just talked about how they were ready for a day like this because of the conditions, but still, just the slightest spark can send this grass fire burning wild.
That church is over 100 years old. That building next to the church is the fire station where I started my career. There's a lot of sentimental value here. You know, you live in Ranger my whole life, and we're seeing a lot going right now.
And we do know there were evacuations out here in this rural part of Eastland County, and you heard him talk about the sentimental value. The bad news is this could potentially get worse before it gets better, because the conditions that allow this to happen, low humidity, high winds, dry conditions, those same conditions are probably going to be in place for today. And that's where I'll bring in Marielle to talk about what causes this and what they can expect today.
Unfortunately, you are right. It's the high winds, it's the dormant vegetation, or, you know, we have been under a drought for several weeks. The low humidity, that's still in place. The only difference between yesterday and today is the direction of the wind. The wind is now out of the north and west due to yesterday's cold front. There is still an elevated fire risk anywhere west of I-35. And as far as that Eastland fire, it is still burning, of course. Like Chris just told you, it's not contained, and winds are now out of the north and west, and that means that we are looking at potential smoke moving to the southeast as a result. Anywhere between 10 to 20 mile-per-hour sustained winds, but look at the wind gust, about 21 mile-per-hour wind gusts right now out of Breckenridge. That's in Eastland County, 37 in Mineral Wells just to the north of that. That's why a wind advisory still in place. This includes the entire Metroplex. Winds out of the northwest, 15, 25 miles per hour, gusting up to 45 miles per hour. And we certainly see that this morning. Conditions are going to improve, though, and I'm expecting the winds to calm down this evening. So